Top 10 characters for the month of May 2020. I just want to thank everyone for liking last month's video. It's always my most liked video. And boy, we're going to do something a little different, probably for every month going forward, because the real-time PvP battles, the versus mode, kind of has changed things a little bit, because usually the top 4 characters in the game are getting banned almost always. Typically, you're going to see Phoenix, Black Bolt, and Ultron at a minimum be banned nearly every game that I've played. And it seems like we're getting played further out of the top 10. So I decided to make this video a top 20 video. And we're going to go over that. And it's going to be in no particular order. However, it seems to me that Black Bolt, Phoenix, Ultron are getting banned almost every time. And then, from there, very good characters, of course, are going to be like Hela, Symbiote Spider-Man, Mr. Sinister, and so on. So we're just going to go over these pretty quickly. And like I said, they're in no particular order, but clearly the characters outside of the top 5 are getting a lot more use in that particular game mode. And we're going to see where that game mode goes. It could be more important. I understand right now there's no rewards to it, so it's not that important. Black Bolt, he's a counter to Ultron. He is massive damage. He burps. Right here, this burp is amazing. I put all the T4s on this guy. I can't say enough good things. I think he's the best character in the game because I use him in every single game mode, and he doesn't have an eminent counter incoming to him like Phoenix does. It looks like Minn-Erva is going to be a counter to Phoenix, but Black Bolt's a counter himself, and he's actually a requirement for Phoenix. So I think this is obvious why he's at the top of this list. We're going to keep moving here. Hela's fun. My goodness. I use Hela in every single game mode as well. All of them, all the time. I think part of that has to do with the red stars that I have on her, but it really comes down to Greg and her summon. Just seems to make the AI play stupid. Plus, every time he dies, he removes 10% turn meter on the other team. I use her everywhere. She's quite good. Spreading mass negative status effects, very useful inside of U7. I'm used her in Dark Dimension 3. Amazing. Disrupted, double tap, flipping of the death proofs, plus her passive. And she's amazing on defense in Alliance War. And she helps you get Black Bolt. Very fun character. Absolutely. Phoenix has been the best character in the game for some time now. I can go into detail about why she's so good. I've been debating taking her to 6 red stars, and I've decided I'm not going to. I think I'm going to use that somewhere else with the 100 gold promotion credits. I think I can use that somewhere else. She does just fine for me at 5 stars, plus I'm getting no use of her inside of the 1 versus 1 real-time PvP mode because she gets banned every single time. She is the queen of Dark Dimension 3. I think she's going to be less important going forward once Minn-Erva is out. It looks like he's going to be a hard counter to her. So I could make a debate which is better, Black Bolt or Phoenix. That's fine. And the top of the roster is usually shared with Ultron, but Ultron is not as important as he once was, although still easily top 5 character, top 3 character perhaps. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Next on the list is Invisible Woman. Easily makes the top 10, and in this list of 20, she's one of 2 characters that can clear negative status effects, and that's very important right here to be able to clear negative status effects. And then also Scientist Supreme can flip negative status effects on your team, and that can effectively neutralize the opponent without having to use a character like Groot or Jessica Jones. And it is a strategy now to ban both Invisible Woman and Scientist Supreme, so the other person is kind of like stuck out of luck without being able to clear the negative status effects. Barrier, all kinds of amazing things. She's amazing at tank. Can't say enough good things about Invisible Woman. Easily makes the list. Next, we have to talk about Loki. Now, Loki is a character I wish I would have took to 14 as opposed to I took Thor. And I have to say this, Thor is not on the list. I know a lot of people want Thor to be on the list, but he is not. He just is not fast enough. He's not a good enough standalone character to make the list. And I want to talk about the importance between 13 and 14. We got this chart right here, which shows the stat increase from each character level. And it goes massively up from 13 to 14. We're talking huge. Now, this 32% is an aggregate of the stats. And in reality, the focus and the resistance goes up by 50%. And most of the other stats like armor, health, and damage go up by 20%. But the difference between 13 and 14 is huge. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is that, yes, my Loki right here says that he has 95,000, and I will take him to 14 someday. Yes, it's a lot of resources. I get that. And he'll go up like to 100,000 or something like that, when it should be like 120,000, 130,000. The 14 power levels are grossly understated, and it really is coming down to focus and resistance and being able to land negative status effects. Now, the reason why Loki's good is that he's fast. He can use mind control right here and puts defense down and gets tagged by 2 opponents, and then you pair that up with like a Captain Marvel or a Human Torch, and you nuke someone turn 1. It's quite a big deal. Plus, if you can get sneaky with him and pair him up with Hela, there's some synergies there as well. Let's keep going down the list, and we're going to talk about next. We're going to talk about Shuri. Oh my goodness, Shuri is a key component to U7 without a doubt. Now, she has an ability right here that is only useful inside of the raids, and it basically puts deflect up when a character drops below a certain health level, and that is just amazing, quite amazing right here in raids. When self or any ally drops below 50% max health, gain 3 deflects. In addition to having defense up with that, it's like having 1.5 defense up. It's quite a good thing. The deflect mechanic causes a block to hap, which reduces negative effects coming in and the amount of damage, coupled up with defense up, which does the same thing. It's kind of a double combo. She goes fast because of this ability right here, so quite quickly she can put up the defense up with this ability here. And then, of course, she's the best healer in the game. Her T4 on her basic is a mistake. I wish I had not done that. I'm also getting a lot of use of her with coupled up with Shuri, because you've got a combo right there with Yo-Yo and Shuri together. She is not a protector, so you've got the combo of defense up from Shuri, and then you have Yo-Yo giving the opposing team defense down. Quite a good combo. Next on the list is Yo-Yo. Now, Yo-Yo is a tricky character to play because she's a protector, and her passive will not work if she's paired up with another protector. So there's been situations where people will run Yo-Yo with Mags, Yo-Yo with Invisible Woman, and basically she's kind of dead weight at that point. And now, I don't really think she's that great of a standalone character overall, other than her passive ability right here, giving this persistent offense down, which is quite good. But mostly, she's a function of Black Bolt. And basically, with her basic attack, if she's paired up with Black Bolt, he's going to attack along with her, and he's going to clear the positive effects. I'm getting a use out of her in every single game mode. I like her on defense inside of my arena team, and I like Invisible Woman on offense on my arena team. Very good. However, I'm not playing her that much. She's kind of tricky to play because of the way that she interacts with other protectors. Next, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is a one-woman army. Oh my God. She does so much damage, and she's very fast. She can go into binary, clear the offense down off of her. She can clear all the negative status effects on her. She heals herself up all the time. She could burst somebody down. If you can land defense down with Loki, she can one-shot somebody almost every time. Right now, she can one-shot Ultron, and if you're paired up with Black Bolt, he'll burp. He will ping the Ultron to death. Turn 1 Ultron is over when you use her in conjunction with Black Bolt, and that's why Ultron's not on the top of the list, although he's very good. Nothing bad I can say about Captain Marvel. Be wary of her and coming up against Captain Marvels inside of Alliance War where they have like 100k health. That is a one-woman army not to be messed with. Next on the list, we have to talk about Falcon. Now, Falcon may not make the top 10, but he definitely is an important character inside of the 1 versus 1 game mode, and that it just basically in any turn-based game, giving turn meter to your team is going to be one of the most important things. The more often that you can go, the more often you can play, the more often you're just going to win, quite simply. Turn-based games, speed and gaining turn meter is probably the single most important thing in this type of game, and that just makes him OP. He does moderate damage with this, his ability to clear stealth, but really it's only about this ability right here. And field speed bar 5% goes to this right here, not this. But if it went to this right here, 10% for each enemy, and it got boosted to 15%, boy, I would have done that one already. But no, it just goes right there. I'm still debating whether that's worth it or not. It's a very good T4. Been getting a lot of use out of Falcon, and my goodness, people that have like 7 red star Falcons are scary, because then he becomes a damage problem as well. Although I find that it's moderate amount of damage, not a huge amount of damage. Magneto's amazing. If you could pull this off with Magneto and get him going in a conjunction with Mr. Sinister, maybe Jugs, and then you get really cheeky and you throw in a Mystique, my goodness, you could have some fun. There are some hard counters to Magneto, like Rhino. You know what I mean? So I can't say he's the best, but I've been playing him a ton. If my opponent has Magneto, I really want to make sure that I'm running like Scientist Supreme or Visible Woman. You don't want to get stuck with all those blinds. Legendary character, of course, he's good. Can't say enough about Magneto, but it comes down to turn 1, clumping everybody together and using blinds. I love pairing him up with Symbiote Spider-Man. That's quite a good combo, quite a fun time. Lots of good things I'm going to say about Magneto. However, there are direct counters to him, and so he's not seeing a lot of arena gameplay. I don't think he's useful in other game modes. Of course, he's good on offense and Alliance Wars. Of course, he's good in Blitz, but he's not good in raids, mostly because he has high cooldowns. But still, a very useful character long term. Almost every legendary character is what I'm going at. Scientist Supreme, I love her. She is the key to U7. I'm using her inside of U7, Dark Dimension 3, also in PvP. I'm not using her arena, but I really love giving negative status effect to everyone and then flipping them on your own team. I highly recommend the T4 on this because it goes from 3 to 4. I can't tell you the number of times where it was only flipping 3 and I got stuck with a heal blocker or stun as the 4th negative effect that she didn't flip. Can't say enough about her, but her plus Shuri are pretty much the components to make U7 viable. And Ultron was the 3rd piece, but now a lot of people are subbing out Ultron for Hela or Symbiote Spider-Man, just because of the stat boosts in the Red Star rework. And we'll talk about Ultron here in a little bit. Still amazing, not dead, but not the best anymore. Mr. Sinister, this guy right here. The combinations that he creates by cloning is just, being able to create situations is important. Cloning your opponent's Phoenix. This guy is usable in every single game mode. Easily a top 10 character, probably even a top 5 character, maybe higher, depending on who you ask. The only problem with Mr. Sinister is his power level is very important. I need to take him up to 14, and every star level I can get on him is just vital because that directly correlates to the clone. Can't say enough things about Mr. Sinister. I end up banning him quite a bit, and when I play him, I can't pick who I want to choose fast enough, and then the AI times out and picks for me. That's the only bad thing I can say about him is too many options for Mr. Sinister. Next, we have to talk about Symbiote Spider-Man. I love this guy, and he's bio. I'm going to be using him in Dark Dimension 3. I'm going to be taking him to 14. I'm using him in U7. He's good in nearly every game mode other than Arena. I'm not using him in Arena. Plus, we're halfway through this 2nd event, and there's scheduled to be a 3rd event, a milestone event, so we'll be able to get more Spider-Man shards. I'm hoping I can get him to 6 stars sooner than later. I love this guy, and I've been able to sneak in Carnage with him in certain matches, and him plus Carnage is good times. Carnage, I don't think I'm going to put on this list because I don't find him as useful by himself, but Spider-Man plus Carnage is so good. And then if you can get Venom in there too, then you got 3 characters doing lots of fun. Plus they're very good in Dark Dimension 3. Vision is making a comeback. This kit in Vision has been one of my favorites for a long time now. This is a character I think for me would be a lot more useful at a 14. Just because it seems like his ability block does not stick very often. And this ability block right here is important for putting ability block on, let's say, Ultron. It's clutch. He has so many good abilities. I think the main thing, too, here is that he spawns with defense up, and you can run him with a lot of tech characters, and then you don't need to run, let's say, like a Shuri. But you can run him with like Minn-Erva and Scientist Supreme and Ultron and so on. And then you don't need to have Shuri because he's kind of stopping that first turn one-shot kill of a person, clearing negative status effects. Amazing. Chain right here, putting offense down and potentially bleed against tech is quite good. I do think that for me in the matches I've been playing, there's been many times that the dive bomb did not land. I was not able to land the ability block. So seems like taking him to 14, it's hard to justify that because it's very difficult. Nick Fury. All right. This guy is, of course, legendary character. But to be able to go very quickly and give the team defense up is very important. If you're going to play him with Shuri, you got to be mindful that he can if you're going to play him with not Shuri, but Yo-Yo, you potentially could ruin Yo-Yo by doing the reinforcements because he will summon a shield security. And the problem with the shield security is that that's a protector and that will negate the usefulness of Yo-Yo. But everything's good about him, mostly being able to give defense to the whole team. I'm not that big of a Nick Fury fan. I'm just going to put that out there. I think other people like him more than I do, but he still makes a top 20 easy. I don't know if he would make a top 10. Plus, he's the lead to the Coulson team, of course. Next on the list is Ultron. Okay, Ultron's amazing. Run, don't walk. Get your Minn-Erva and friends. Minn-Erva and Star-Lord go into Dark Dimension 2. Get Ultron. You will love the game. It's like playing Marvel Strike Force 2.0 as soon as you unlock Ultron. However, he doesn't have red stars. And recently, red stars were reworked, and the power curve on red stars was flattened. It's not as steep as it was before. And I personally experienced a 10% boost in stats for my entire roster, meaning all of my other characters got boosted by 10%, and guess who didn't? Ultron. Now, Dark Dimension 4, will we get red stars in Ultron? I really like the idea of getting a character personally myself. I hope they come out with a different way of getting red stars on Ultron other than Dark Dimension 4. I would prefer to get a character out of it was just a huge disappointment. Dark Dimension 3, the rewards are not that great. So Ultron is still one of the best characters in the game, probably only behind Phoenix and Black Bolt, because once you get his minions up and running, it just becomes an Ultron train and the army takes over. Hard to micromanage him, but you can use him also almost everywhere. Not seeing him as much in the arena anymore. Quite simply, I can one-shot him with Captain Marvel and follow it up with the Black Bolt burp, and he dies. So he used to be the best. He's just not anymore. Definitely falling off a little bit, but still useful. Boy, if I could sneak Ultron into a PvP match, it's almost a win if you can get the bots up and running. Minn-Erva. We have to put Minn-Erva on this list because she pretty much single-handedly allows you to unlock Ultron in Dark Dimension 2. There's other ways of doing it, but traditionally, the way to unlock Ultron is with Minn-Erva, and she does all the damage with her ability right here because it steals % health, and the minions, the opponents in Dark Dimension 2 are very high health. Much higher health than even Dark Dimension 3. And so she will do like 80-90% of the damage. And all you have to do is protect her and feed her energy. And the traditional way to do that is with the characters like Star-Lord feeding her energy and Groot clearing away the negative status effects. But there's other ways of doing it. Scientist Supreme also seems very good in Dark Dimension 2, as well as running maybe a full team of Asgardians. They can do it as well. All right, can't say enough good things about Minn-Erva. Love her. I'm going to be taking her to 12. I'd love to run her in Dark Dimension 3 as well. Star-Lord! Boy, so this is the first legendary character that I recommend people get so that you can get going early in the game, go all Guardians up to 5 stars, and then unlock Star-Lord. That team comes to life when Star-Lord is there. Plus, once you hit... I think it's level 70 when you can go in Dark Dimension 2. Hopefully you have Minn-Erva up and running, and then you can go in and unlock Ultron. Seems like the best thing to do early game is to farm Guardians. Link up here in the top right-hand corner if you want to see a video about the top 5 tips for new players in 2020. That is one of them. Next on the list is we're going to try to get into some other areas. We're kind of getting towards the bottom of the list here where I've seen people play this character, and I'm just going to back out of this right here because there's a ton of characters that I wanted to mention, and I just threw Human Torch, Proxima Midnight here, but I think I could have also put Juggernaut. I also could have put other tanks like Drax. I also could have put Carnage in here, and this is just like, or even Mordo. There's just like, depending on the number of red stars you have, they could be very scary. Human Torch goes fast. And if you're not able to use Captain Marvel, he can go very quickly, very early, and maybe one-shot somebody with Loki, and then eventually he does an AoE that's very scary. Amazing. Proxima Midnight has a stun. The thing about her is you better have her high up because that stun will get resisted. If you're trying to stun a Gear 14 character, again, the stats are all wonky on that. May not land. Same thing with Mordos. So, bunch of other characters I could have put on this list, but I'm trying to nail it down to 20 from now on. And let me know what you think. Put that down in the comment section if you have any other characters that you're huge fans of. And as always, thanks for watching and keep on gaming.